Today, I'm going to talk some mad shit about dating apps and tell you exactly why dating apps are ruining the dating lives of the next generation of men. But first, my name is Ben Sterling. I'm one of the head coaches here at Social Freedom, where we help guys all around the world completely transform their dating lives, becoming the most attractive, charismatic, and confident versions of themselves. So if you like our shit, make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and appease the algorithm gods, because again, it helps expose our shit to more people, and we can then enrich more people's lives with our content. But let's get into the video. So today's video was actually inspired by a recent article that I read. Now, you might have actually seen an article talking about this, but it's based on the number of sexless men and virgins in the Western world and how those numbers have been rising steadily since the implementation of dating apps, since online dating became mainstream, essentially. Since 2010, the number of sexless men, so this is men who haven't actually had sex for the last year, has risen from 10% to almost 30%. That is a threefold increase in sexless men since 2010. And the same is for virgins. They've gone from 8% to 27%. That is men between the ages of 18 and 30. Almost 30% of men are virgins. And that number has tripled since 2010, and it was 8% in 2010. That is crazy. And that is a direct byproduct of the current changing of today's dating marketplace. See, back in 2010, you didn't really have online dating. Well, you did, but it was only for people who were deemed a little bit weird or desperate. If you were gonna meet up with someone that you met on the internet, people were like, oh, you're gonna get murdered by this person? There were genuine safety concerns, I remember. The only way to meet people online really was more so through things like social media. The rest of your potential romantic partners were going to be met through your social circle, through your work, or through hobbies, things like this, or through cold approach, meeting them in a bar, in a social setting, whatever it might be. That has now all changed. See, the majority of men now are relying completely on dating apps to potentially meet their partner. And the problem with this is that there is a much larger portion of the population on these dating apps that are male. In certain cities, even in the Western world, you can have a ratio of 9 men to every 1 woman. That is a crazily skewed number, and you should not be seeing this. And what does that tell us? It tells us that men are the ones who are using dating apps. Women are not really using dating apps that much. And I can say from my anecdotal experience that most of the women I meet do not use dating apps. Most high quality women also don't use dating apps, but I'll get to that in a second in my own anecdotal experience. Let's go back to the current dating marketplace. Now, Alex from Playing with Fire, absolute legend. This guy has actually done a couple of videos recently that have been really interesting to me. I'll even potentially put up the clips here, but in case I'm not able to due to copyright reasons, I'll also describe it right now. So what he's done, he's gotten an old woman, right? An old woman, she looks like 70, 80 years old. He's thrown her on Tinder.
How many matches would an old lady get on Tinder? The results are going to be quite shocking. Face app to make her look even older. This is the second one, third, and fourth.
This old woman has gotten over 1,000 likes in just a couple of days.
She got 1,050 likes in less than 48 hours.
And these guys who are matching with her, she's matching with some high quality guys, like actual, like good looking, well built guys who look like they live a pretty good lifestyle.
And a lot of these guys were actually really good looking. So here's the first one. We got this 28-year-old beefcake. Here we have this dude that looks like a male model. Here we have this dude that looks also quite buff.
You're looking at it and you're thinking, this caliber of man is potentially trying to go on a date with an old woman. I've seen some of the other videos he's done. He did one with an actual obese woman compared to actual really good looking guy model.
Who gets more matches on Tinder, the most attractive man or the least attractive girl? Here we used photos of male model, take a look, clearly good looking guy, and here is a girl who's clearly not so good looking. So we wanted to see which one of these will get more Tinder matches.
He threw them both on Tinder to see how many matches they'd get. The male model, he was an actual 10, got about 100 matches in a 24-hour period.
The male model got 112 likes in 24 hours.
Where the clinically obese woman got
474 likes in the same time span in the same city. So that shows you that the least attractive girl still does 4 times better than the most attractive guy.
And a lot of these matches were high quality men. The fact that men are looking and open to potentially dating these kind of people show you how desperate a lot of guys have become. And that's because men have made dating apps their primary source of potential dating. It is their only avenue to meet women. And because the dating market has become so skewed in terms of essentially the rich getting richer, the poor getting poorer, the top 1% are getting all of the matches, and the bottom 99% are getting fuck all, and the matches they are getting are lower quality and just probably someone you wouldn't even want to date. People are getting desperate, and a lot of guys aren't even getting the opportunity to potentially meet women. Very rarely are they going to meet women that they actually like, and that's the problem with these dating apps. For the average guy, they're not made to help you. They're made to help guys who are in the top 1% in terms of your looks and your ability to portray your lifestyle. I see a huge rise in men complaining about women only caring about looks, money, and status. I think that this is directly correlated to the fact that men are being exposed only to women on these dating apps, and they're seeing these guys who are able to portray a better lifestyle, having a lot more dates than they are, and a lot more matches than they are, and they're thinking, oh, women care about your money. But women, I can say very confidently, only a very small number of women actually give a fuck about money. I can say that very confidently. So any guy who thinks that women actually care about that is full of it. Now, they do like good-looking guys, of course. Everyone likes someone good-looking. However, it is not the most important thing. And this is why dating apps are not attracting the number of women that they are attracting men. Female attraction is not based purely on physical appearance. See, the dating apps are made for men because men, we can make a decision in a split second whether we would potentially fornicate with someone or not. We can look at them physically, and if they meet our physical standards, for the majority, let's be fair, guys, don't fucking lie to me. If she is hot enough, you'd have sex with her. Plain and simple. How many times have you had sex with a girl whose personality you didn't necessarily like, but you were really attracted to, and you still went through with it anyway? Women are not the same. Women do not base who they want to be sexually intimate with off your looks alone. What's most important is your behaviors, the way they feel in your presence. And when it comes to dating apps, they have no way to know this when they look at a guy. All they're exposed to is his physical appearance, his sub-communications, and potentially the lifestyle he's portraying. That's it. She has no idea who this guy is. She has a hard time finding out who this guy is. So most girls don't even choose to use dating apps. And for the majority of girls, they don't have a need for it. Most high-quality girls, high-value girls, girls of genuine beauty, don't see a need for dating apps. If you talk to any girl who is a woman of genuine beauty, she doesn't use them. She has no need for them. She has so much abundance of potential suitors already, she's not going to use them. The kind of women who do use dating apps are the ones who see a potential benefit in using them. They see a potential benefit because they're like, oh, this is a potential way for me to meet the highest value guy possible. And these are the kind of women who don't necessarily have as many options. Now, I know that might sound harsh, and I know some of you guys might have met some really good girls on Tinder, dating apps, whatever it might be. And sure, you can absolutely meet some good girls on dating apps, but on the scheme of things, across the board, dating apps are really good at helping women date up and men date down. Unfortunately, it's just the way it is. And the thing is, the dating apps, they care about making sure they have as many men on them as possible because men are the paying customers. It's a business. It's not there to help you with your dating life. It's there to keep you paying money. If you look at the stats, Tinder is one of the most successful apps in the world right now. One of the most profitable apps in the world. Why is that? Because it has so many men hang on it. So that is the reason why the current today's dating market is so fucked for the average guy. However, there is still hope for you, but it's not on the dating apps, my friends. Now, before I give you the solution to your current dating woes, I'm going to talk a little bit about my own anecdotal experience with dating apps. Now, you have to understand that as a background, I am someone who has been working on his physical appearance as well as his ability to portray a positive lifestyle for the last 10 years. I am someone who would be considered higher value. And when it comes to using Tinder, whenever I pick it up, now it's a nice thought. It's always nice. It's like, great, I can just sit here and swipe and potentially get dates without doing anything, and I don't need to deal with any rejection, and it's gonna be super easy. Every time I pick it back up, I always come to the same conclusion, and that's that dating apps are so inferior to cold approach. So inferior. Yes, I get matches, but on average, the matches are not that attractive, and when I do meet up with these girls, every single time, without a doubt, now it might not be a complete catfish, but every single time, I'm always disappointed. Every single time. You always rock up to the date and you're like, shit. And this is actually why I came up with the rule that whatever number you give her on the dating apps and on social media, when you do get her on social media, you need to take 2 points off her, because that way you're going to be much more accurate and hopefully not too disappointed, but you still might be. But so if she looks like an 8 on Tinder, she's going to be a 6 in real life. If she looks like a 7 on Tinder, she's going to be a 5 in real life. If she looks anything lower than that, you just don't even bother, because you are going to be catfished, unfortunately. That is just the name of the game. They're always putting their best foot forward. And I'll tell you what, there have been some situations where I've been very frustrated with the intensity of said catfish. Say, I had this one person who rocked up to the dates, and obviously her photos had been taken a few years earlier, and she was much heavier than she had advertised in her photos. And I just sat there and I just thought, man, like, what a way to start a relationship, since that's what this person was looking for. She's like, I'm looking for something serious. What a way to start a relationship. Like, the first thing you're gonna do in that relationship is to commit fraud, to deceive the potential person that you wanna have a relationship, to lie to them. That is not a great way to start things, but I digress. The general quality of the girls that you match with as well is just lower than what you meet in real life. Again, I've already gone through why that is, but I need to just articulate it again. Guys, again, they're great for helping men date down and women date up. I know it's harsh to say, but it's just the reality, unfortunately. It's how the market goes, okay? Think about capitalism, supply and demand. When there is more demand and less supply, people are willing to pay more, okay? So you have a smaller pool of women and a much larger pool of men. The smaller pool of women, even the ones who aren't necessarily that high quality, are going to still be very sought after. And this is a great segue into my next point, and that's that I found that the average girl that I met on Tinder also was much more dismissive and validated, way more validated, because they have so many guys hitting them up. This girl, if she didn't have Tinder, she would not necessarily have many options. Some of these girls, they wouldn't have that many options. They're just a normal looking girl. If they went to a club, they wouldn't necessarily be hit on that much, and they'd probably be a pretty pleasant person to be around. But Tinder has skewed their own perception of themselves so much that they think that they are much more valuable than what they would be in another environment. But because of the current marketplace that's been created in Tinder, they have a very warped view of their value as a woman. And the thing is, it's because a lot of guys are trying to date them on these apps. So you got to understand, you have to deal with that too. And I really didn't like that side of it as well. You found a lot of girls are much more dismissive, a lot more flaky, way more flaky, because they just have so many options. Don't get me wrong, I still had some successes on it, but again, much lower quality and less enjoyable experiences than the girls I was meeting in real life. Of course, there's going to be exceptions, but just as a general rule, that is how things are, unfortunately. Now let's get into the solution for your current dating situation, how you can take back control of your dating life. Now, We can look at it as a negative that a majority of men are only focusing on online dating in order to meet potential partners. But this means that it is the best time in history to start cold approaching women, to actually go out and meet women in real life, because so little men are doing it nowadays. All it takes is having some fucking balls and having the motivation to go out there and deal with a little bit of discomfort and potential rejection, and you will completely change your dating life. There has been no better time in history to start cold approaching. The amount of women that I meet now between the ages of 18 and 25 to 30 who have never been approached or haven't been approached by a man in a long time is crazy. Guys are doing it far less than they used to, even 5 years ago. If you want a way to set yourself apart from the crowd and start playing in a dating marketplace that is skewed towards us, towards the men, then it's time to step away from the dating app, delete Tinder, fucking get rid of it, don't fall into that dopamine trap, and start going out and meeting women. The quality is going to be much higher. You're gonna have a far better time doing it, and you're gonna build a lot more confidence and social skills while you're practicing it as well. And let's face it, there is not many things in the world that are more stimulating and fun once you get comfortable with it than cold approach. So guys, if you wanna go out and you wanna actually meet high quality women in 2023 and in the 2020s, then cold approach is the way to go. So if you're ready to take back control of your dating life and actually learn the best way to actually meet, attract, and date the kind of women that you want to meet and date, then make sure to book a call with us. The link is in the description, and jump on one of our coaching programs. It'll change your life. Let's start playing a game in your field and not play on someone else's. Guys, thanks for watching. If you liked it, remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment. It helps us with the algorithm. Love you. See you in the next video.